Alex Ansary here. It is the 24-hour countdown to the eclipse. And in another video, I'm going to give you some advice. I'm just going to give you the cliff notes and then ask that you listen to the next video that is coming. If you want to join my live meditation, you probably should prepare for it and already be in a grounded meditative state of mind. Adding what I didn't add to the first video, drinking water that's been charged by the sun, sitting out under the sun, avoiding other people unless you're like me and you're hardcore and you did what I did, because across the world, even in areas outside the path of totality, people are partying, they're drinking, there's probably sex parties. I don't look down upon necessarily bringing children into this world if you're feeling like you can do it and you have a partner. That's not my path. But if I did have partner or partners, I do think that this would be a cosmic time to bring in spiritual beings to Earth. I do perceive that, but I actually think that it's not a great idea to get recycled back into this reality. What I want to talk to you is address a question that some people may have or come to have in the future. The aliens are wondering, is Alex Ansary racist against gray hybrid alien human beings that are now walking amongst us? And so let me just say as an introduction, I am currently, have been of the opinion for 15 years now, that there are, at the very least, women of certain heritages that look different than women from 50 years ago. The same is happening with men. And on that note, even though I am a big fan of Patrick Swayze and Roadhouse, I am not a fan of the Roadhouse remake. I will not watch it because I perceive that MMA fighter to be possessed by demons. This McGregor, or whatever his name is, the guy with the beard who plays like the whatever in Roadhouse. Nor can I, like, realistically watch the star of Donnie Darko as the bouncer. I mean, I'm so tired of this just like asinine, like, fantasy world, tooth fairy world. Like, no, seriously, I'm not hitting play on a movie called Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze was a good man. You really shouldn't disrespect good movies like that. So, like, we're in a world now in which they're desecrating the feminine, they're desecrating the masculine, and they're taking good-ass movies, and they're just completely destroying them. Like, seriously, enough with the fake Bruce Lee actors. You already had, so all this, folks, all this, the racism, the anti-white, the anti-Arab, the anti-Islamic, the anti-Latino, and the hardcore Latino cartel energy where they hurt their own, is all an alien program, whatever the race is. So I'm not racist against aliens, it's just that I don't trust that the Greys are my friends. Now, not only is there a pattern of not only some women that have contacted me over the years that have that split eye look. Split eye look, as in, if there is something to the idea of reptilian shapeshifters or alien human hybrids that are not traditional humans of the earth. What I have called for years, which some people have perceived unfortunately to be racism, I have spoken for years on behalf of what I call the natural earth bloodlines. That would be humans that have a documented history of being around the earth for, say, more than 2,000, 3,000, or 4,000 years. Say humans that have been around for, say, 9,000 years, 10,000 years, 11 and 12, and then when we grow even further than 13,000 years and 14,000 years, you're dealing with either older bloodlines, and on that level, I suspect that the reptilian gray overlords are using the DNA databases to be aware of the natural earth bloodlines. And so what I am perceiving with my anti-New World Order conspiracy theory worldview that does embrace Jesus, but not white nationalism, is that they are weaponizing immigration to cause a backlash against those immigrants that will be violent once they have the false flags, which is my primary eclipse warning. This eclipse warning was made on national radio, and only one of you commented on that national radio show that was a new listener. And they're no longer commenting, which is exactly what I psychically perceived, that they would eventually find the other content that was not racist, that was critical of Alex Jones, that was critical, or maybe they're just thrown off by my powerful eyes. And so there are people that do perceive that I'm the demon, that I'm the Nephilim, that I'm the hybrid, just because my parents are from different continents. And I'm telling you, I feel that your worldview, that I'm a hybrid alien because my parents are not inbred, is psychopathic and satanic. Even if you're smiling now and you think you're awake, not in my eyes, honey. You're going to get the spiritual, not sexual, tough love here. No, not XXX. No, spiritual tough love, right? You're going to get it. You're going to get it. So, no, I'm not racist against the gray aliens. It's that I don't trust that they are on my side. I do think that the gray aliens are on the side of white supremacy. And there's many servants of white supremacy in different racial groups, and many servants of anti-white racism, right? So you have white supremacy and you have anti-white racism, and they both, as I told you months ago, I believe that they both make each other bigger. The anti-white racism creates more white supremacy, and more white supremacy creates more anti-white sentiment. And you can't be a human being like me that is neither a white supremacist or a racist, nor anti-white. You can see people as a spirit and believe in what's called for years, and they've laughed at me for years. For years, people have laughed at me and made me feel small for talking about rising above what? The illusions of? You should all know what word follows. It's a classic traditional AA verbiage or phrase. Rising above what? The illusions of what? Separation. I can say Afghan lives matter, white lives matter, black lives matter, Latino lives matter, Asian lives matter, Arab lives matter. The question is, can you? Jewish lives matter. The question is, can you? When you know the answer to that, and the answer is no, don't ever act like we're friends. I am the teacher here. Don't ever act like you're going to be alpha to me and explaining religion to me, God, or anything until you demonstrate to me that you're in the fight with me, that you're in the ring, that you're actually doing something, that you're actually willing to lose your girlfriend and your family and your home like I did by speaking the truth on YouTube. Don't act like if you've got a girlfriend, a home, and you have like these things and you're not in the ring, that you're like me. You're not like me, right? It's just like that clip, bro, from Falling Down with Michael Douglas, where the Nazis goes, I'm like you, you're with me. He's like, I ain't like you, bro. I ain't like you, bro. I'm not like you and you're not like me if you're not also in the ring putting your birth name on the fucking line, because they will destroy your ass. If you are Arabic and Afghani, energetically, your life could be destroyed. I could be dead in the coming months or years, because I believe that with this eclipse, there's going to be an aspect of humanity that's going to become assassins after the 8th. Now, it's up to you whether you want to engage in the magical protection ritual for you and your family, and also for me. Okay, in the old days, people would pray for others way before they threw donation money at them. They would engage in ritual. They would do physical things. A lot of you now, you can only love with money and likes and clicks and comments. Your ability to do more than that and be a real friend at present in your current incarnation doesn't exist. You need to do better. You don't impress me. You disappoint me, and I'm giving you the coordinates to make your world a better place, and the lights go out, bro. Women are in danger, and I'm the man who told you what's up. So a lot of you, you're feeling the alpha energy. Instead of attacking me back, you're just bailing on me. Instead of attacking me back and insult me, you're just like, fuck this dude, I cannot handle what he's saying, and people just bail. So I don't at all believe that I'm wrong, because I'm accessing a powerful magnetic field that's literally like pushing some of you back right now from these broadcasts. You're feeling the energy coming at you. And I'm telling you, it's not of Satan. Okay, now let me move on and talk about today. So we cleared this up, did we not? I'm not against you existing aliens, but if you're going to sit there and take out my people, I'm going to get my people together in a meditative practice like we are tomorrow, and we're going to ask Christ to help us move your ass off planet in a real sense. So, dear mummy, if you ever for a second were generally spiritual, there's no reason in hell you shouldn't be supporting what I'm doing tomorrow. I am supporting moving them off planet tomorrow. I am supporting the idea of us winning. I am supporting the idea of human supremacy over the machine. Human supremacy, human supremacy, human supremacy, except for our unconscious brutalization of animals. Yes, I eat meat, and yes, I eat meat without guilt because of the dimension that we're in. But I also admire humans that choose to live a way of life, including Buddhists, which is in my ancestry. Also, for those that are of the smarter aspect of the audience, and you know a little thing or two about old Afghanistan and Buddhism, and the Chinese that have lived peacefully in Afghanistan for so many years. There's been so many peaceful experiences that Chinese have had in Afghanistan. There's been a peaceful coexistence, traditionally, between the Chinese and the natural earth bloodlines of Afghanistan, my people. Now, right now, what you have is New World Order, which is different. You have New World Order, you have CCP. That's not what I'm talking about. There's China, Chinese people, the beautiful aspect of Chinese culture, and I always have been horrified by the racist stereotypes about Chinese people and Japanese people and Koreans. I've always been disgusted by it, and there are white supremacist theorists amongst you that do not see people of Asian heritage as human. There are also some supremacy ideologies within aspects of the Asian world that see themselves as supermen, actually. And there's perspectives that the Chinese people and the Asian people have another heritage or origin story other than, say, Caucasians. That actually makes a lot of sense. There may have been different seeding of different bloodlines, and some of the bloodlines, like the Amans and mine, have a warrior gene to them that has not yet been castrated, which is why we have faced certain levels of hardship, himself and myself. And we're brothers from another reality. My mother knew this in the past, just like she knew in the past I was a John Connor type. In the past. Things have changed. Anytime somebody wants to email me and say, "You've got it all wrong, we support you," feel free. But I'm not currently of that perception. If somebody says they're proud of me, I think that they feel that they were forced to say that, in fact. If someone is generally proud of someone, describe it with more than 3 sentences how and why, and make me believe you believe that, and that it's not just a bumper sticker slogan. Put your money where your mouth is. Can you elaborate? Could you be a little bit more specific? Before I burn my mother's Easter card, I'll collect them for the day that the grid goes down and we need paper to stay warm. So we'll have a little box for that day. But the Easter cards, folks, you've heard that whole thing about the money will become worthless. We'll use it for tooth paper, toilet paper. We'll use it to keep warm, our money. All that money that your relatives put into the Hallmark Corporation, gather those. What I say is mindful is making your own card for your mommy, making your own card for your kid. We get crayons and go, "I love you, son," with an organic card that costs no money. I love you because of this. Not Hallmark telling you that you're awesome. The actual person writing more than 2 sentences. Not saying "love mom," but "you're awesome because," or "you're gifted because," or, "I was really alpha to you in the past, but you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I can go back and correct this, I would." And see, when you say things like that, you instantly heal the heart. So my current perception of demonically possessed parents comes from a philosophy that if you don't tell your ancestry, and if you don't verbalize how you were sorry, or how you're not sorry because it wasn't your fault, it was other factors and other people did it. But if you don't even care to even verbalize and communicate with your child, there's going to be healthy natural suspicion of what's called the archonic hijack. And so I'm not being racist to the hybrid white women that have the face that I do not interpret to be consistent with faces like my grandmother's. We look at my grandma, you've seen her face. I've now shown you faces of my grandfather's mother or grandmother. Not really sure, but she looks nuttier than a bag of chips, just to be frank, right? When I look at those old white faces, I don't sense that great energy. I do sense something else that's a little bit monstrous, but that's different, and it actually explains a lot of things for the Nagels. But grays, not so much. So in the last 50 years, I'd say in the 70s and 80s, there was a lot of allegations about alien abductions. You probably heard about this. The perception that I've had for a while is that that program went away after the 80s with the solar cycle. It could be the harmonic convergence for a while maybe cleaned up the off-road activities, which led my mother and others to be brainwashed leading up to 2012. So there may have been a reprieve from the dark ETs on a level. They may have been a temporary reduction in hardcore alien attacks on the population. Okay, in those years then, would be the real Great Awakening, which I was a part of. It would be 2003 and 4. So right as they were attacking Afghanistan and Iraq, Alex Jones was a good man. And some of you were good people. You were not yet white nationalists. You were not yet great replacement theory. You put on that cap when Tucker went from leftist CNN to Fox News. Like, you're Satanists in my eyes for supporting these right-wing figures that previously were Democrats and leftists. I have no history of being a leftist or a Democrat, ever. Tucker Carlson does. Tucker Carlson used to have a bow tie and be on CNN. You have like all these folks that have like these mysterious pasts, and yet you support them, not me. That's ridiculous. And you will be called out by me personally for failing to see that I am the superior specimen. I am a national treasure. Okay? If my words will survive in the coming years, there's going to be statues made in my image. Not because I say I'm a god, but because I say I'm a light being from the same dimension, get ready for it, that Jesus came from. The same words that caused David to throw my ass away from Portland, Oregon, for daring to say that I'm a true Christian and believe what Jesus said. When Jesus said, I can do many things and you can do more. I believe, folks, that there is a dimension of godliness that exists. And I believe the Creator did not just send you a few folks. I believe that there's a bunch that were shotgunned out. Now, whether it's 144,000, I'm not really sure. But let's go back to that. If somebody wants to pull me into their field, when they hear me say, literally, on camera, I'm okay with the relationship and having a baby with a woman if we make a connection and we develop friendship for 2 to 3 years. At that point, the few females that were commented on my work completely evaporated because they weren't really to put in that friendship, nor do they look at me like that. But I am a human. You knew this, right? You do know that I do have feelings, right? That I am a man. Even though I meditate and I don't go to the strip club and I try to reduce adult content, although I'm not perfect, I am a man. And I do seek a spiritual woman to have a holy child. And I know that the one woman that did get pregnant with me in 2011, just so you know, did claim, and she could be mentally ill, there are those signs. But she did claim that the aliens took her baby, ripped it out of her body in 2011. After she heard voices in her head and was compelled to type in my name to the internet and came to find me and threw her body at me in a period in which I was promiscuous with more than one partner. Not at the same time. So I have taken accountability as a man for having more than one partner in, say, a few years. And now I have a full 7 years without any partner whatsoever. And I have purified myself of lower demonic energies. And I know that at least the last woman I was with was not good. And took me to a graveyard in Manassas, Colorado. And my car died up on the hill in May or April. If I had not chased my lower senses to this area in Colorado, which is a documented history of being fucked with by the Greys. We're talking Costilla County, Colorado. Let's go there. The area in which folks, if you guys don't know this, that area in Colorado has a very, very long history of UFOs and cattle mutilations. Is there an overlap between the alien abduction program and the abduction of cows? Then there's theories that it's the government taking the cows and analyzing if radioactive or nuclear tests are having any effect, or if they're showing signs of radiation. On the surface level, that's why they do what they do. So, let's continue. A lot of people that do trust in the alien moniker don't have sympathy for non-white people and have confused callousness for ascension. So I don't believe in the modern version of ascension. Julian Epperly has a lot of good info about expelling demons. She talks about it all the time. However, she has so many demons that when I push back against Big Pharma, she blocked me. And all he ever did is promote her work. There's no reason for her to block me unless she came under some form of hypnosis that I was like a devil man. And she did say that she previously was a Trump person, an Alex Jones fan, and was into the whole Islamic invasion meme. So I'm not for Islam invading, but I don't believe every Muslim is threatening you, and I don't believe the official story of 9/11, and neither do you. But if you know that there is a deeper story to 9/11 and you still hate those people, even though it's documented that they've done things, if you're an old school Alex Jones fan, you already know the truth. Which is why I call his 180 with Trump Satanism and not in line with the teachings of Christ. Okay. Now, when I megaphone multiple churches in my community and I called them out for not being true followers of Christ and they cursed me as I drove by, I did it without fear. And I did drive-bys without harming people. I drove around my community and I spoke the truth. Okay? Sometimes for a few minutes. And so, all across the world, people are just partying because this eclipse thing is happening worldwide. And it's a very rare event. And so if people are going to believe that it's the end of the world, well, why not come to your knees and pray to Christ? Pray to God. And for those of you that have a negative association with Christ, I explain in deeper podcasts that modern day Christians come across to me as antichrist unless they're speaking out against genocide and murder. There's nothing in the Bible that legitimizes white nationalism, even if you are perceivably being invaded from the outside. There's still no justification. You can still fight people trying to invade you and still fight off Nazi ideology. You don't have to go that route into the Thule Society and witchcraft. But if you want to go that route in the physical plane, you may be protected by Satan and rewarded depending on what industry you go into, whether it be YouTube, real estate, or the other. Just understand this world's an illusion. One day you'll wake up and realize this whole world was a simulation. And it was one that morality and becoming more moral, it was super important in the simulation. It wasn't a random simulation with no meaning in which you were supposed to find out the earth was flat or something, which it's not. More or less a simulation where you realize that when you die, you're going to come up for judgment by the Creator. My dad will, my mom will, I will. Fear God, not the devil. Now, is the moon the devil and the sun God? It came to me as I started driving today. What if that's the God-devil counterbalance, the sun and the moon? How many people hate the sun and avoid the sun and misuse the sun and the swastika while worshiping the moon and engaging in moon magic? How many women are lost in moon magic while knowing nothing about the sun? Not a good sign. Yeah, I'm going alpha. I'm stepping forward now. You women and men should know way about the solar influence over humanity. All the facts are there. If you only feel this connection with the sun, maybe there's a reason for that. From a soul voltage perspective, you should be more connected to the sun. If you're not in a deep connection to the spiritual aspects of the sun, something may be fundamentally wrong at a soul level. If you have a Coast to Coast membership and you found me from Coast to Coast, you should download every single episode from Maurice Cotterell on the Coast to Coast show. As for suspicious observers, everybody else, although he did do a report the other day on Twitter, suspicious observers, on human behavioral response, how timely. He's been doing it for years, but he sounds very nerdy when he does it, very feminized, in fact. He hates anyone that seems to be the left. He seems to worship Trump. I don't know what his take on is Alex Jones. He's full of shit by saying no fear. He's like promoting fear all day long. Maybe that's his old tagline. Eyes open, no fear. Is that his new tagline or his old one? Bill Olson, I look down on you for telling me you like him more than me and Alex Jones. I'm not happy with you, Bill Olson of Portland, Oregon, for ignoring me and giving that due time and hating my spiritual side. Bro, just because you and I have personal history doesn't mean I think you're spiritual or see the godliness in me. Okay? And I find you to be a hypocrite for you going out of your time to donate your time to Christian shows, dude, in Portland, Oregon, before the dudes died and before you got kicked out. You gave your time to Christian shows. Question is, when you gave your time to Christian shows, did you talk shit to the host too? Did you talk shit, Bill Olson, to the Christians that preach Jesus? Okay, because you certainly put me down. And I don't appreciate that. Are you contacting Alex Jones and David Icke and telling them to go fuck themselves for talking about the portals opening? So you are Portland, Bill Olson, for failing to see the prophecies of Alex Ansary. I'm not, dude, just another conspiracy entertainer. I'm tired of those of you that burnt me, right? No, just admit it, Bill. You screamed at me, you're hard to help. He screamed at me, you're hard to love. Dude, I'm not the problem here. You're the dude that gave up your show. 9/11 was an inside job. And why do you only talk about that? Why don't you talk about China? Why don't you talk about Russia? Do you not realize, Bill Olson, that you're right ground zero for fucking shit central in Portland, Oregon, when what I predicted hits the fan? You've got no place supporting Alex Jones, who sent in right-wing Nazi motherfuckers into your town, bro. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable for any of you to act like I should be in the backseat to the gray alien agenda that has now taken over your planet. So either you're going to come to Christ, the true Christ, and stand against hatred, or something unfortunate is going to happen for those of you in the coming 24 hours. You're either going to take control of what's in here, or they are. So I drove around and I megaphoned and I gave them a dummy channel and I shouted out the name of that dummy channel. I told them to get prepared, get water, get food. I told them not to trust the media. I told them to go into the cave for the eclipse. I told them about China and Russia. I told them about 9/11. I told them that Islam isn't after them, but China and Russia are. Okay? I made it clear who I believe Alex Jones works for, and it certainly is not God. And it certainly is another nation state. Oh, absolutely. Ding. We have a winner, Johnny. I am a man that can see. Do you understand? I am not psychotic. I have not lost my mind. I am going to defend America from all enemies, foreign and domestic, from all enemies, physical and non-physical. You understand? Enemies, physical and non-physical, okay, as above, so below. Now, I am about to go to the ER and have my hand looked at. I got on a skateboard and I started doing some circular motion and going back and forth, and I was going to show you on camera how you can use a skateboard, but I think that I should take some precautions when I start mixing Kung Fu, Wing Chun, circular motion, Aikido, and like a skateboard. Like, I felt the eclipse energy. I felt super, super ripped and powerful yesterday. I ran around megaphoning an hour ago. But literally, like, you can't become so powerful that you drop shit. I dropped my vape, like, several times recently. And it shattered. No bueno. No bueno. So you want to avoid people tomorrow because there's going to be, like, people speeding, feeling the energy. And then there's the darkness that's going to be coming over parts of the U.S. if you're down there. And then other areas you'll get a partial eclipse. Well, just because you don't have a total eclipse, just if we're not in the total, right in the center of it, like they are in some of these horrible places in America, you look at the path of totality, those aren't good areas. But if you're in Oregon, Seattle, Colorado, like just because you're not in the path of totality doesn't mean there aren't going to be strange animal attacks. Doesn't mean that your dogs might not start barking. Like, pay attention to the presence of shadow people, violence, and anti-human attacks. Get beyond just perceiving anti-white and anti-Arab and anti-Afghan, anti-black, and anti-Latino. Okay? And understand that it's anti-human. So I'm going to go to the hospital here in a little bit, but I'm going to upload this for you in advance. In addition to this, there's going to be another file uploaded that's going to be about 18 minutes. It's going to be uploaded to Substack, and then when it gets uploaded to Substack, it becomes automatically a YouTube video, just like that. So right now I'm going to get to work on that as far as the things that I had to say through the megaphone. And that masculine display, and basically declaring that I am a prophet of God and that I am here to help. Come with me if you want to live. Boop, 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 boop. This YouTube channel just for you locals. Boop, 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 boop. This is the code you punch in to your interweb reality matrix to find the truth. Come with me if you want to live. Come with me if you want to evolve your soul beyond this matrix. I have declared myself a child of God. I have declared myself the Messiah of Alex Ansary. Now, who your Messiah is, it's certainly not me. It should be God, the true creator. Now, if you want to go through Christ, awesome. But my way of going through Christ has nothing to do with the mainstream Christians. that many of you may already be listening to. It has nothing to do with Tom Horn's version of Christianity. Even if he said some awesome stuff. He said some awesome stuff, and then he has said some stuff that I do not believe at all is of Jesus. And what it is for you to be intelligent enough to decipher that for your own. But the whole God talks to me, I'm a special person type deal, but he's not talking to you. There's not a cooperation. It's this race versus the other. It's this religion versus the other. No, that's not what I think God is trying to channel through his prophets. I do not believe that any prophet of God would say that it's one religion versus the other. Okay, so we're 30 minutes in. I'm Alex Ansary reminding you the path to the ultimate truth and place of power still lies within. God bless.